Hi, I'm Gracia from 10B. Today I would like to present to you guys about my personal project and my product. In this presentation, I will tell what is my topic until the strengths and weaknesses I have during making the product and doing the personal project. What is the topic about? Indonesian culture is a singular term that names a particular nation, but there's nothing uniform about its culture. The archipelago is rich in herbs and spices, which form traditional recipes to make use of these abundant ingredients. Japanese, for instance, tend to like sweeter meals due to the abundance of cane and palm sugar. The goals. My goals will focus on the following two aspects of culture and culinary, and it will communicate the influence through the taste and flavor and the model of the food. I need to make the buyers preserve the Indonesian taste. I need to modify market snacks with Indonesian taste flavors, also the model of the market snacks. Modifying the snack is the point of my goals because I want to be able to let everyone have more interesting ideas to create and taste from seeing my product. Global context. My global context for this project is personal and cultural expressions. This global context was chosen because of the cultures, which can easily be recognized. Also, my project focuses on cultures, how they influence each other through taste and flavor, specifically shown through the Indonesian influence on the Chinese culture. Inquiry question. First is factual. What are some common flavors that they usually use in making market snacks? Indonesian cuisine has a rich taste, most often described as a savory, spicy, as well as a combination of basic tastes such as sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. Second is the conceptual. How can I make my product interact people to have a taste on it? First is to create well-balanced taste sensations. This will this will help you overall taste perception, have taste sensations that are well balanced, never too sweet, salty, acidic, or bitter. The second thing is don't forget the aftertaste. By having aftertaste, it aims to leave the positive and pleasant impression on consumers that encourage them to make another sip. And the last thing is the texture. There are also sensory sounds that allow us to how a product tastes, whether it is soft, hard, or dry. Texture can create a better dining experience, which will make your product even more attractive. Debatable. Is there many people like with Indonesian taste? Overall, from my observation and my research result, almost all people love Indonesian taste flavor because it has spices and most of the food tasted unhealthy and it has a low amount of salt. Personal project product. I'll be making pastels filled with cassava or yams with the Indonesian taste flavor. The design for my pastel later will look like the normal design in general. The ingredients that I will use for making my product are wheat, oil, salt, water, cassava, onion, garlic, seasonings, eggs, and margarine. The main thing from my project is I want to preserve them with the Indonesian taste flavor I use. By using Indonesian taste flavor, it can give me more ideas, knowledge, and I can create and try in different kinds of snacks so I can give them an example and also to make the market snacks in Indonesia can be the best snacks. flavor that people have not used. I can show my effort through the way I make the pastel, how I could make my target audience want to try and give feedbacks on my product, and maybe some information that I can deliver to them. While my weaknesses is in making this product, I need creativity. I don't have the skills in making this product, so that this makes me think that I haven't achieved well my criteria and the expectation. So that's the end of my presentation. Hope you guys can get something new, and thank you for listening.
Hi guys, my name is Jefferson Tanto from Sekolah Ciputra, Surabaya, and today I'll be explaining my personal project. Almost 20% of teenagers suffer from mental health issues. And why does it matter, you might ask? Well, that means out of 10 teenagers, 2 of them will suffer from mental health issues. And what did I do to help? Well, I made a campaign, and this is how I did it. And what is my campaign about, you might ask? Well, my campaign is raising awareness about mental health to teenagers and other people affected by it. Working on the global context of globalization and sustainability, I made 3 questions and 1 research question. Here they are. My research question is, to what extent do people understand about mental health and what is needed to raise awareness? And my 3 questions are, what is mental issues people face on a daily basis? And how do we convey this message so everyone understands? And is there a true solution? Well, what is a personal project, you might ask? The personal project is the work we do at the MYP, where we choose our own topic, choose what we want to do, and research it over a period of time. And here is mine. Well, what's my final product, you might ask? I made a campaign, but what's in it? I made an Instagram page and a podcast, and here are a few clips of that. Well, here are a few posts from my Instagram page. Enjoy! Well, most of my posts are offered both in English and Indonesian to ensure maximum engagement. Next up for my personal project product is my podcast. You can access the podcast through the QR code displayed on your screen right now. Since I can't show you the full length of my video due to the duration, here's a clip from it.
Bu, itu adalah penjelasan yang sangat baik mengenai kesehatan mental dan meningkatkannya cybercrime di masa ini.
Ya.
Apalagi di masa seperti ini, hampir tiap hari kita menatap, ya berhari-hari menatap teknologi, mau sekolah, kuliah, bahkan kerja. Nah, kalau sementara pandemi ini, apakah ada kenaikan di penyakit mental tersebut, Bu, atau cybercrime yang mengakibatkan penyakit mental tersebut?
Iya, kalau ditanya apakah gangguan mental banyak nggak pada masa pandemi, meningkat luar biasa, ya meningkat luar biasa yang angkanya mencapai sekitar 2 kali lipat pada tahun sebelumnya. Itu yang perlu dipahami. Kenapa? Karena ketika pada masa pandemi kan kita banyak yang nggak keluar rumah ya, seperti kalian belajar dari rumah, tidak bertemu langsung dengan teman-teman, boring lah ya kan, nggak ada ketemu dengan orang lain, ketemunya cuma lewat media sosial. Nah, belum lagi di rumah misalnya ngelihat orang tua yang berantem atau adik yang rame atau apalah, pokoknya banyak kejadian yang itu tidak pernah kalian ketahui. Nah, ketika itulah kemudian pelan-pelan kalian mengalami yang namanya masalah kesehatan mental tadi, gitu.
When working on a project such as large as this, sometimes things will not go to plan. But here's a few things I learned throughout the way that helped me improve my project overall. One of my strengths that I had before or improved during the project is my self-management skills. Before the project, I would not manage my time well, but since time is of the essence for this particular project, I was forced to improve my self-management skills. But hard work pays off. Look where I am now. Well, not only that, I also improved a lot on my self-confidence and in particular, my public speaking skills. Since I was making a podcast with someone else, this had to test my public speaking and my confidence. But I don't think that I'll be here right now if it weren't for this project. One of the other things I learned for this project was learning to do things on my own. Well, this project had me working on my own with very minimal help from the people around me, which trained me to be a more independent and confident person with my own work. Even when learning other things and learning more things from this project, it didn't come with no challenges. So here are a few things that were challenging to me for this project. Well, one of the challenges I faced was organizing people. Well, in my case, it was just one person. But still, trying to find and organizing a time that will fit for both of us to meet and talk was very hard. But this also helped my self-management skills and my organizing skills to grow even more. Another thing that was quite a challenge for me was being neutral and staying objective. When working on a campaign, especially like this, there are some situations where you have to stay neutral while talking to people, and you have to accept their ideas without adding to it. Well, this is quite a challenge for me because personally I'm quite an outgoing person and I tend to speak my thoughts. But I still eventually got through it and improved myself a lot to be a more open-minded person. Well, that marks the end of my personal project explanation video. I hope you can take away something from the video. Remember that the pandemic is not an excuse for you to stop doing good things for your community. With that, I would like to say thank you, and thank you to everyone who has supported me through my personal project.
Hello parents, teachers, students, and to anyone who is watching this. Welcome to my personal project presentation. Today I will be presenting my personal project and I will be showing you my final product, as well as explaining information about it, such as topic, goals, and global context, then 3 inquiry questions, a brief description of my product, and lastly, the strengths and challenges that I have faced during the creation of making this product. So please enjoy. So the topic that I chose to do for my personal project is to compose a song to help students focus on studying and also to relax their minds from any stress they get from school. My personal project goal will be composing my own piece of music, but only the melody and beats without vocals. The final project will help students in some communities to be able to focus on studying and relax their minds from any stress in life. I chose this because this year has been very stressful to most students. Due to the pandemic, most students are forced to continue school by online learning. To some students, online learning may be very helpful to them because it helps them focus more due to maybe being more comfortable studying at home rather than at school. But for some students, they may think otherwise, because based on experience and conversations I had with friends in an online global community, most students are having a hard time during online classes and have a hard time studying due to an inconsistent learning environment, and they said music is one of the ways to help soothe them and release stress from any problems during the pandemic. The global context for my project will be focusing on personal and cultural expression, specifically in composition and music. The reason I chose this global context is because it's the one that relates the most to my project, which is expressing calming music to help others. Moving on to the inquiry questions. For the factual, what are some genres of music that can help ease people's mind? It is proven that the genres of music that could help soothe the mind is slow-tempo songs, lo-fi, and also instrumental-based songs. For conceptual, why do people usually use music to help calm their minds? This is because music with slower tempos can quiet your mind and also relax your muscles, making you feel soothed while releasing the stress for the day. Which is why music is effective for relaxation and also for stress management. For debatable, should music be a way to calm people's minds? I agree that music should be a way to calm people's mind because this type of music, meaning slow tempo music, have a beneficial effect on our physiological functions by slowing down the pulse and heart rate, lowering the blood pressure, and also decreasing the levels of stress hormones. So after this, I'll be showing you my final product, but before that, I will give you a brief explanation about it. So the product I made is a 59-second lo-fi relaxing song that could help students focus on studying and relax their minds to prevent stress, as mentioned before. The music will be played by a piano and with additional song elements as well as rain background music for the extra relaxation. Please enjoy. So that was my final product. I hope you enjoyed it. So lastly, before I end this presentation, I would like to explain the strengths and challenges that I have faced during the process of creating the music you just heard. During the process of completing this product, I had a lot of strengths and challenges. For the strengths, one of them is that I knew how to play the piano as well as being able to understand what each feature and elements in the softwares are for after a couple of experiments and testing the new sound elements. But I had the most challenges during creating the song because during the process of recording, my piano broke, which caused some of the chords to be off sound. And since I don't have any other piano to play in, I just had to go with the flow and add the elements as well as the background sound to make it sound at least pretty decent. Another challenge that I faced was during adding the elements. Since it was my first time, I had trouble with choosing which elements and sounds to use as additional, what beat matches the song, and etc. But I overcame this challenge by asking my brother and also other people's opinions, such as from friends and private music teacher, to help me and give me ideas of how the beat could go and what sound elements that I could use. So that is it for my presentation. Thank you for listening and goodbye.
Hey guys, my name is Jordan and my personal project is about designing new safer seats for airlines all over the world. Now, let's take to the skies. Before I show you my product, let's discuss the reason why I decided to make it. The global aviation and travel industry is one of the sectors that have been hit the hardest by the pandemic. It has had a significant impact in the reduction of demand among worldwide travelers. Due to safety regulations and protocols, almost everyone around the world was instructed to stay home and not go outside, which meant that the demand for flying dropped to an all-time low. This reduction in passenger numbers caused airlines to cancel most of their flights or fly their planes close to being empty. This massively reduced airlines' revenues and have forced a significant number of them to lay off employees, or even worse, declare bankruptcy. So, my solution to this problem was to come up with a new seat design which is safe for passengers to fly on during a pandemic and for airlines to implement them on their aircrafts, with it still being efficient and plausible. I came up with seats that can ensure safety while physically distancing people from one another even though they are seated next to each other, and still allowing airlines to operate with similar capacities as before. The global context that I chose for this project is scientific and technical innovation. I came up with 3 different inquiry questions that were: how can airlines make flying profitable once again in this new normal world with a pandemic raging on? And how will I be able to elevate the quality of my product so competitors won't take over? And lastly, are airlines willing to take this risk? Now, let's go through my design process. First of all, I had to do some research. I did some reading online on what the current situation was looking and how airlines were doing, and it turns out they were doing terribly. Many airlines were losing millions of dollars and couldn't do much about it. I was also fortunate enough to interview a German pilot working for Lufthansa, a ground dispatcher based at London's Gatwick Airport, and an Indonesian pilot working for AirAsia to get their perspectives on the issue. After doing enough research, I looked ahead and started to think about how I wanted to create my product. Was I going to make a small miniature 3D model or try designing something on Google SketchUp? No, I decided to create my product on Minecraft. Yes, Minecraft. I know it may not be the most efficient software to design things, but it gets the job done and offers a lot of creative choices. After opening the app and generating a flat world, this is where I started creating it. My plan was to create 3 chairs in one row with 2 forward-facing seats and the one in the middle facing backwards. First, I laid out the foundation, then I started creating the base of the first chair, but I decided to stop and make a small version of the seat first. After that, I continued making the main part of the seat, followed by the armrests. After that, I started the construction of the main seat barriers, did the final parts to the base, and to finish it off with the seat's features. Next, I created the second seat, which was designed exactly the same, with the only difference being inverted. And lastly, I made the third seat, which was the same exact seat with the first one. Now I'm going to walk you through my final product presentation. First, we have 3 images showcasing the view from the front. The second, we have 3 images showcasing the view from the back. Thirdly, we have 3 images showcasing the view from the left and right side. And lastly, we have 3 images showcasing the view from the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to show you the features of the seat in detail. First, let's start by showing the top, work our way down. So here, we can see the main barriers of the seat itself. And if you go down, there's the main part of the seat. And we have the armrests. And then to my right here, we have buttons that control the reclining mechanisms of the seat. And to my left here, there are more buttons to control the in-flight entertainment system, or IFE. And if we go down, we will see the leg rest. And it's the base of the seat. If we work our way to the back, we will find the seat pocket, the tray table, and the IFE screen. Now, onto the strengths and challenges I faced. In this project, I was lucky enough to be able to create something aviation related, which is one of my hobbies and interests. I also dedicated enough time for research to find the answers to my questions through the help of articles and experts all over the world. The challenges I faced throughout this project were mostly technical related, regarding to do with the software used for the creation of the final product itself and editing the software for the video. But in the end, I was able to get things done and make it through.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelvin Katrina Gonga. I'm from 10B and from the 10-4 homeroom class. And this is my presentation of my final personal project. Here are the table of content and what I'm going to explain for the next following slides. Topic. The topic regarding this project is related to scientific and technical innovation, whereas creating a scientific product that helps relieving moderate to extreme menstrual pain without consuming medicines or pills, such as chemical pills and also those anti-pain pills. My goal for this personal project is to create a solution regarding problems women face during their menstruation cycle, and the goal is such as creating and invent 2 to 3 blends of herbal tea-based drinks that are the solution or helps to reduce period cramps, but also regular menstrual flow, mood swings caused by PMS, and stubborn hormonal acne. The global contexts in my personal project are Based on my goals above, it can be fitted that my global context is scientific and technical innovation context. Using the understanding of scientific principles on making new products or solutions are considered as scientific and technology innovations as well. Meanwhile, my inquiry questions are: what technical method can help menstruation pain the most? And to what extent can it relieve the pain without affecting the internal organs or body? Here is a brief explanation of my final product. My product, as shown in the next slide, is two herbal tea blends designed for women who have problems regarding menstrual-related problems. Based on scientific explanation, this product can help female individuals for extensive ages, especially teenagers. That's because during the teenage years, women tends to get their first period, and those certain ages are where hormones such as estrogen, androgen, and all of those are still not stable. So this product is really great for those teenagers. The brand of this product I've created is called Leaf Tea. The first blend is fused with dried chamomile flowers, peppermint tea, lavender, and dandelion leaf and root. That first blend targets problems such as dysmenorrhea, which is period cramps, irregular menstrual flow, and mood swings. Meanwhile, the second blend is fused with spearmint leaf, green tea, Vitex herbs, rosella, and chamomile dried flowers, targeting hormonal acne, mood swings from PMS, and slightly irregular menstrual flow. Both products contains chamomile flowers because I believe, based on scientific research as well, chamomile flowers really help women with problems related with hormones. This is a picture of my final product. This is the tea. I put the tea blends on a tea bag and put them on a tiny plastic wrap and put them inside these packaging I created by myself. In here we can see the list of ingredients. If I make this a little bit bigger, we can see that I've also put the serving size and how much bags it contains per box. And here are the ingredients. For the strength, creating the final product is actually not that hard in my opinion. I didn't really found any problem, and I can create the packaging by myself without anyone's help as well. I succeed on making an aesthetic packaging with a functioning product that accomplished my goal and criteria. For the challenges, the most challenging thing on this project is making the report. So during the personal project progress, we students must make a report, and I had trouble and pressure making the project due to online lessons, and the research of what ingredient fits best for the product is also quite a challenge. And that is it for my presentation. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, so let me introduce myself. I'm Miss Sandra from Sekolah Ciputra High School, and this is my first time having a personal project since I'm a new student. At first, I had no idea what is personal project was, what is it for, and what product should I make, which is challenging and useful for others. So I have decided to discuss with my supervisor and my homeroom teacher. I told them that I'm really interested in the world of fashion, like design, styling, and makeup. And they gave me an idea of making something using recycled materials.
The next day, I had a meeting with my supervisor and I asked her, what if I make a dress using a recycled materials and garments by using newspaper and used clothes and plastics or etc. There I found my goal, which can inspire and motivate people in the world of fashion and learn to be environmentally aware. Here I will focus on 3 different aspects: fashion, creativity, and environment. The global context is personal and cultural expression because my project focuses on expressing ideas and extending our creativity, especially through fashion. So let's get into the video and see how the product progresses. glad that I have a successful criteria at the end of the product. I have achieved my goals. This is what I have expected, and I'm really grateful that I'm able to do it slowly but neatly. Thank you so much guys for watching. I hope this inspire you and be an important lesson for you one day. Bye!
Hi, my name is Nasha Lilananda, and my personal project is about designing an eco-friendly house. For this project, I chose the global context of globalization and sustainability. The 3 inquiry questions I came up with are: what can I do to make houses more sustainable? How can sustainable architecture help the environment we live in? And in the future, will these houses be available for everyone wherever they live? There are 2 main reasons as to why I chose to design an eco-friendly house for my personal project. Firstly, I find architecture very fascinating. I really like the idea of using light, shadow, texture, and color to bring life and beauty to a building, thus I took the PP as an opportunity to learn as much as I can about it. Secondly, I am conscious and concerned about the rapidly changing environment we live in, and as a global citizen, I felt the need for myself to make a change. Because of human actions, the world is experiencing climate change, which will have devastating and irreversible consequences. When brainstorming ideas for my personal project, I came across the idea of building an eco-friendly house and chose to challenge myself with it because I believe it is a great solution to the housing and environmental problems we face today. And so from those problems, I created a list of solutions that I wanted for my house. Now I'm going to walk you through my design process. The first thing I did was do research by making a survey about architecture and sustainable living, and also interviewing experts of architecture and environmental studies. After obtaining information about eco-friendly living and people's preferences, I made a brainstorm about the requirements of my house. This included the eco-friendly features and aesthetics of the house. Then I put together an inspiration board as a reference for me later on when I design. Afterwards, I began the creative process of designing my home by drawing the floor plan, followed by some exterior sketches, one of which you're seeing right now. After completing all of the basic sketches of my house, I modeled it using Google SketchUp. This is the basic exterior of the house, complete with a few plants and the correct textures. And last but not least, I had to make my 2 final products, which are an architecture presentation, which you will see later on, and also a maquette of my design. I used cardboard for the structure of the maquette, plastic sheets to act as windows, dried coconut shavings to act as grass, dried flowers, cotton balls, and paper to act as the plants, and printed textures to act as the little details, including wooden doors and solar panels. My first product is a presentation of my eco-friendly house. Let me walk you through it. So on the title page, we have the front perspective view of the house. And then we have the concept and more perspective views of the house. Next, we have a floor plan. And then the eco-friendly features of the house. My second product is a maquette, or a miniature model of the house. Here are some clips of the maquette from which you can see the eco-friendly features and basic structure of the house. When it comes to doing this project, I observed 2 strengths of mine, which helped me achieve my goal of designing an eco-friendly house. First, I had high interest in the topic that I chose, and second, I had good time management skills. Interest fueled my desire to work on this project to the best standards I could achieve, and time management allowed me to meet almost all of my short-term and long-term goals on time. This gave me extra time to expand my knowledge and try new things. This project also came with a few challenges, namely technological and communication limitations and a lack of experience in this field. The technological limitations I faced in this project were mainly the realistic rendering of my design, but I solved this issue by doing the best that I could with the tools I had, which were Google SketchUp and Canva. I also faced communication limitations because of the pandemic. I was only able to consult my supervisor and resources by chat or video call, which made it quite difficult to ask for feedback since my product was physical. To try to cope with this, I would often contact my supervisor and resources when I'm not sure about something that I'm doing, and they would give me their advice or feedback. The final obstacle that I faced was a lack of experience. Up to this project, I had never designed a house as technical as I did in my PP, and had also never made an architecture presentation or maquette. This necessitated me to research existing solutions and techniques in order to make my products. Overall, I believe I did my best in my personal project, but I could still improve in the future with more knowledge and practice.
A place known as the Land of God. Appealing its beautiful nature, rice fields, culture, mountains, beach, and many more. That shows the true definition of peace and serenity. This video shows where I got my inspiration from. The topic of my personal project is making a photo exhibition to explore Balinese culture and make others appreciate the aesthetic. Hi everyone, my name is Nikita Alicia Munir from Scholarship Putra, grade 10B at Kumbang 10-4. So today I'm going to be discussing about my personal project. I chose that topic because photography is one of my personal interests, and second, making a photo exhibition could help me express my creativity. And during the process, I could learn more about Balinese culture. Now I'm going to be talking about my global context. Global context use is personal and cultural expression, which means exploring the ways in which we discover and express ideas, feelings, nature, culture, beliefs, and values by using the things we reflect on, extend and enjoy our creativity to show appreciation towards the aesthetic of something. I'm aiming to make others appreciate the aesthetic of Balinese culture, its value, beliefs, and also the nature. In order to achieve what I want to deliver, I did that by extending my own creativity in which I enjoy. Since my personal interest is in photography, and I want to explore more about a culture and make others appreciate its aesthetic, I decided to make a photo exhibition. So in that way, I could combine everything together. Now I'm going to be talking about the inquiry questions. There are 3 inquiry questions from factual, conceptual, and debatable. So the first question is from factual question. What kinds of skills needed in photography? Well, there are 3 main skills that you need to know before starting. First is using your own creativity to express it. Second is being patient to the process. And third, knowing the tools you use. Moving on to the second question from conceptual. How can you deliver a meaning through a picture? You can do it by capturing obvious objects, places, or even situations that strongly represent the meaning that you want to deliver. The last question is from debatable. Which one is the most suitable one? Using short caption or long captions? Well, it doesn't matter, but I think the most suitable one is the short caption, since not many people want to read long ones. This is my personal project final product. My topic is making a photo exhibition to explore Balinese culture and make others appreciate its aesthetic. I made it look so simple because I wanted to look like a gallery. I will be explaining each picture one by one from left to right. So for the first picture, I took this to represent houses in Bali that have a temple in it. From the caption, the meaning that I'm trying to deliver with those significant shapes and curves actually have lots of meaning behind it. You might ask, what is it? According to the ancient mythology, the curves that looks like a mountain were inspired by Himalayan Kalyasa or Mount Meru that was known as the god of gods. The other curved structures and shapes were designed that way to symbolize and bring the connection of human beings and God together. Moving on to the second picture that was taken in Mount Batur, there's an Indonesian flag that was put in front of it. The Indonesian flag could present the meaning I'm trying to deliver. As what the caption said, it was connected to the Bhinneka Tunggal Ika slogan that basically said that everybody is different but they all tolerate with each other as one nation and be together as one. The meaning I was trying to deliver is that being together, tolerating with each other, and accepting differences could make us stronger as a nation. This third picture is a temple that was taken with a wide-angle camera. Since the temple is Hindus' belief, I captioned it "Faith Bigger Than Fear." For the last picture, I tagged it with the wrong number. It's supposed to be the fourth one. So this is another representation of houses that have that temples in it. I captioned it with "Culture is the path leading to an open door," because culture does bring value to your life, giving you opportunities to be with other people, increase your tolerance towards others, and it provides you social benefits too. I'm going to be talking about the strength and challenges. The academic strength that I was able to do is problem solving, because I was able to identify any issue that I have, find many possible solutions, learn from those mistakes, and always try to solve it first. Now for the challenges. At the beginning of making my personal project, I was not able to take my time between schoolwork and PP. Since there are so many tasks to do, yet I need to focus on my PP too. But over time, I find ways on how to solve the problem. The first thing I did was using my time wisely, list the things that I need to do, prioritize important tasks first, staying focused. Last but not least, I always reach out if I have any problems and ask questions if I'm concerned about something to my supervisor, teacher, or even friends. That's it from me. Thank you for listening.
Plastic, a material that has always been a problem since it was invented. Most plastics that we use today is non-biodegradable, meaning it can't be broken down by a living organism, which means it can threaten the environment and ecosystem. Plastic today can be found everywhere, from the side of the road to oceans and more, which creates what we call as plastic pollution. Despite the efforts and awareness raised about plastic, there are still plenty of people using plastic today. To solve this problem, we must create something abundant, renewable, biodegradable, and safe for the environment. Hello everyone, my name is Stefan from Class 10E, and today I'll be presenting what I've done for my personal project. My topic is conversion of biological substance into biodegradable, renewable bioplastic. The main goal of this project is to create bioplastic and use it to make a product. The global context of this project is globalization and sustainability, as we're making a solution from a problem. My hopes with the success of this project is to find a solution to reduce the amount of plastic in my neighborhood. My 3 inquiry questions are: what are the effects of plastics on the environment? Why is bioplastics better and safer compared to single-use plastic? Is bioplastic really better than single-use plastic? Can everyone make bioplastic at home? I used the bioplastic to create a household item, a cup. The reason I wanted to create a product from my bioplastic is to prove that it can be used for anything, not limited to an item or two. Before I made my product, I started with finding a recipe online. What makes mine and others different is that theirs aren't optimized, meaning I need to find the perfect recipe to make my product. The bioplastic's ingredients are starch, glycerin, water, and vinegar. I tested on what each of the ingredient does to the bioplastic. This allows me to understand how the ingredients will affect the bioplastic. After the testing of the ingredients to the bioplastic, I started doing trial and error to find the perfect recipe that suits my liking. Then I started making my prototype. The cup is made from bioplastic combined with cloth and placed on top of the plastic cup that will act as a mold. A few prototypes later, I found the best prototype and decided to use it as my final product. This is my final product. I was amazed with the result as my property testing shows that it is strong enough to hold 100 grams of rice on top. Furthermore, I found the optimum temperature is around 52.5 degrees Celsius, which means it can still hold things that are above room temperature. On my biodegradable test that lasted 2 weeks, I found that the bioplastic itself does degrade, but it will take a longer time to fully degrade. Lastly, the weight of the cup is 11.8 grams, which is about the same as traditional plastic cups. What makes this project challenging is the need to find the best recipe. Through trial and error, I was able to find the perfect balance of the ingredients. Besides, I also needed to make sure that the product passed my criteria that I had set. A strength that I noticed is my motivation to never give up, as there was a point where I felt lost and hopeless, yet I decided to keep on going and eventually succeed. Another strength that I had was the ability to manage my time. Other than the personal project, there were a lot of tasks that needs to be done at the same time. I was able to complete all these tasks given and the personal project itself. If there's one thing that I realized from making this project is that although this pollution is hard to resolve, but I still believe that there is a way to solve this problem, such as making bioplastic or make people use it instead of traditional plastic. Furthermore, I learned that not all failures are fail. Rather a stepping stone. As we can see in the cartoon on how I made my product, it takes time and effort to find the best recipe. But eventually, I succeed and achieve my goal of making bioplastic.
Hey, I'm Sean. Welcome to my personal project. Making a board game, I chose to immerse myself in the culture of the Warhammer 40,000 community. Warhammer, like Star Wars, is a fictional universe that has a rich collection of stories, factions, and lore. While Star Wars is a movie, Warhammer takes place in books and in a board game. Stuck in lockdown, I realized that people have been physically closer, yet further apart from their family, and that this is an opportunity to have some hobby time with them. That's why I chose to make a board game creation kit as my product. This personal project immerses me into the Warhammer 40,000 culture and allows for me to express that culture to others by giving them the ability to do so through a board game creation kit. Naturally, that makes my global context be personal and cultural expression. Participating in activities that revolve around the DIY and craft communities helped me understand their appeal and why it's so loved. It's quite an experience creating something from nothing, and there's always joy from learning and applying a new technique or method to improve your art. Personal project is an activity spanning months that has a student create a goal. Throughout their process, they record their progress and develop themselves through the IB learner profiles, which are inquirers, knowledgeable, thinkers, communicators, principled, open-minded, caring, risk-takers, balanced, and reflective. Throughout this project, I showed elements of an inquirer as well as a thinker. As I'm new to the craft, I need to learn everything from the bottom up, and I need to think up new and innovative ways, such as the paper models, to attempt ideas that no one has ever done before. My product is a kit for families that contains materials and links to tutorials to create a fully functioning Warhammer 40,000 board game, complete with 2 armies, data sheets, models representing troops and vehicles, obstacles like buildings and barricades, and detailed terrain. The product you see before you is the completed model, but you and your family can choose how it looks when making your own. Families will receive a kit, fully fleshed out, with all the scratch materials they need to make terrain and buildings, sheets of models to cut out, data sheets showing the abilities of those models, and tons of YouTube and article links for inspirations and tutorials. Throughout the process, my project was made imperfect by my lack of skill in painting, dry brushing, color washing, crafting, and modeling. as well as my own shortcomings, and missed details due to the size of the project, such as the size and scaling being incorrect for some models. I overcame these issues, however, through consulting the Warhammer community and asking my art teachers for feedback. In the end, I came through with an impressive landscape and playable game to demonstrate the potential of this kit. Overall, I enjoyed the product, and I hope you did.
Good day, parents, teachers, and friends. My name is Edarda, and this is my personal project presentation. Enjoy!
Limitations. We all have our limits, but some people have limits in their senses. We have 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. I'm focusing on sight for my personal project. Blind people have always been known to have a limitation, and it's true, but they are able to adapt to the limitation to the point where they are used to living without seeing anything. They just feel and listen their way through. Some have even reached legends to be a runner, to be a musician, to be a chef, and even promoted education for blind people. But some limitations can be caused by the product that can't help them. Puzzles. They are so famous, and these days there are a lot of puzzle competitions to race, to outsmart, to beat your opponents. Sadly, blind people can't join a majority of them, since a majority of the puzzles are based on colors or pictures. It relies on the visuals. That's why I wanted to help. I want to give equal opportunity to both blind and normal people. I want to give a chance to blind people so that they can join in the fun. I want to create a puzzle where it can include blind people without feeling cheated on towards their limitations. I inquire, how can I create a puzzle where it's solvable for both the people who can see and the people who can't? Using their touch sense would not be a great idea as a product for 2 reasons. 1, a lot of people have done it, and so it would not be a unique idea. And 2, people can still see the true puzzle without having to feel their way through, and there is still a sense of visuals in it. And so I went into the directions of audios. It was a great idea, since even with you being able to see, there are no visual cues in the puzzle, and I've never seen anyone really do it. The idea was to use word ordering, where a scramble of words are shown and the player must order them to create a specific sentence. Only in this case, the words will be in a button, where there will be a total of 8 words, and then we need to press the button in the correct order to get the sentence. So it was settled. Audio Puzzles was the name of this project. After a long time of processing the products, I came up with 2 products. One is an interactive YouTube video that contains the puzzle, and 2 is the design concept of the product. The YouTube video will have a similar concept, except that it's in a keyboard form where you can press the number from 1 to 8 as shown.
The fox, quick, brown, lazy, jump over, the dog.
Then, when you think you've pressed the numbers in the right order to the point where you can hear a sentence, then you can press the number 9 to show the correct answer as shown.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
While my design concept contains of what the model of the product is going to look like, it also contains the measurements and the parts of the model. Along this journey came with some strength and challenges. My strength being that I was very reflective towards my YouTube video, which gave an even better outcome than version 1 of the product. And also being very open-minded to the critics that my first resource gave to me towards my design concept. And there were a lot of challenges during the process, like having to deal with the timing of the YouTube video and just having to repeat the exact process over and over again, and having to deal with my lack of drawing skills during the making of the design concept. With that, I really had fun during this whole personal project, and hopefully you've enjoyed my personal project presentation. Thank you for watching and have a great day, parents, teachers, and friends.
যে বাবা মা ইচ্ছা করে বড় হয়ে লেখাপড়া করে জজির কাজ শিখলে লোকে।
Hi everyone, my name is MYP. I go to Sekolah Ciputra and I'm currently in 10th grade. From the short clips shown just a few seconds before this, you might have been able to conclude what the topic of my personal project is. But if not, the topic of my personal project happens to be education. One of the most pressing and concerning issues that occur everywhere around the world, more often than you think, to millions of children and adolescents. But before I continue, you might be wondering, what is a personal project? A personal project is usually done in the last year of a student's MYP journey. It basically concludes and sums up their last 4 years, the things they've learned, the skills they've developed, and their personal interests. The personal project essentially places all of these factors together, making it into a year-long project that needs to be intriguing to the audience, beneficial towards our community, and most importantly, a topic and product that interests themselves. Back to my topic. Ever since a young age, I've been more than privileged enough to receive a quality education. Though I can't ignore the fact that there are thousands of children around me who don't or didn't have the same opportunity. Therefore, I decided to construct an ebook regarding the importance of implementing education on the younger generation, specifically teenagers. My global context, therefore, is fairness and development, striving for a community where everyone is valued and accepted despite their age, race, and sexuality. And the development of a child's education in different parts of the world is my main objective. According to Article 12 of the United Nations Human Rights Treaties and Declarations, everyone has the right to education. Nevertheless, these inquiry questions might have come across your mind. What impact does education have on society? Who will benefit the most from this project? How big of a change can I, as a student, make? Why is education and learning how to read and write beneficial to our developing nation? Are ebooks that effective? The answer is yes. Education has and is known for opening up new doors, opportunities, and tackling obstacles. It decreases gender inequality, fights racism, lowers death rates, reduces poverty, promotes peace, and increases the act of making rationalized decisions. Furthermore, amidst this pandemic, writing and publishing an ebook would be the most convenient and effective way to get the message across to students all over the globe, since almost all students are obligated to stay at home. Nonetheless, for a more detailed explanation, please visit my ebook. My final product, as I previously mentioned, is an ebook. Now, a regular informational ebook sounds so boring, right? I agree. Thus, the first section of my ebook is a realistic fictional story about a young girl called Afila Isir who stood up for her education despite all the judgment and pain she received from her family members, specifically her father. She is a symbol of courage and bravery in the scary world we live in. The second section of my book is more informational. It introduces and talks about the history of education, the daily obstacles children face, and solutions to these problems. There's a total of 16 chapters, 7 of which is the realistic fiction story, and 3 of which is the information portion. The ratio might seem a little off, but the amount of content is relatively balanced amongst these two parts. If you're having trouble accessing the ebook through Chrome or Safari, this QR code will directly send you there. Just scan it and you'll be able to read Educated in no time. There were many ups and downs in this project, though I believe that one of my strengths throughout the past 6 months was my ability to manage my time well, accompanied by my passion towards this project. Especially being in high school, everything can be a little hectic sometimes, assignments piling up, classes to attend, and work to be completed. But I believe that I was able to manage my time well so that my personal project didn't interfere much with my other assignments. On the contrary, I also had a lot of weaknesses, such as not being able to fulfill my success criteria fully. I originally planned to write about 10,000 words, but due to certain obstacles and time constraints, I had to lower that down to about 8,000. I also often found it challenging to continue writing in the book itself, because one does have brain lag sometimes. Nonetheless, in the end, I published my first ever novella, and all I can say is that it is far from perfect. In conclusion, I would just like to thank everyone from my parents, teachers, and friends. Thank you for supporting me throughout this whole journey, and stay tuned for my future projects. Thank you.